if I may ask, can you dim the lights, please, so we can have a moment of silence for Chef Marcus? Thank you. So, let me begin here with eulogy. So, Chef Marcus Lamar Hall was born on July 22nd, 1982, in Las Vegas, Nevada, to Stanley Mayo Hall Jr. from Washington, D.C., and Tamara Ann Munson from Tucson, California. So from the very beginning, Marcus brought joy, laughter, and the larger-than-life presence to those around him. His warm smile, his generous spirit, and the unforgettable personality that he had left a long-lasting impression on everyone fortunate enough to know. Marcus was preceded in death by his beloved grandfather, Stanley Hall Sr., his uncle, Johnny Morrow, and Aunt Sonora Morrow, and his father, Stanley Mayo Hall Jr. May they all rest in peace with the ancestors. And Marcus, Chef Marcus, he currently leaves behind a loving family who will cherish his memory forever, including his mother, Tamara Ann Munson, his stepfather, Edward Munson, Jr., and his stepmother, Virginia Scott Hall. Also, that he leaves behind that will cherish his memory is his siblings, Tiffany Lynn Perez, Eric Hall, Christopher Hall, Nicole Hall, Trey Hall, Tyler Hall, Brandon Scott, Sonia Scott, Sean Munson, and Haley London. He also leaves behind his children, Colin Figley and Brooke Rodman, and his many brother and sister-in-laws, his 27 nephews and nieces, many aunts and uncles, and cousins, and countless other nieces and nephews who lovingly knew him as Uncle Batman, and lifelong friends. So a little bit about Marcus. Chef Marcus began his career at Johnny Mac's over on Boulder Highway in Henderson, Nevada, at the age of 14 years old, while working his way to head chef. His passion for food and serving others led him on many adventures throughout his life as a chef. He worked in various kitchens, like Anthony's at the M Resort, assistant room chef at the Charcoal Room, and also room chef at Station Casino's Corporate Aviation Department, and executive chef at El Dorado Canteen. And also, if I'm not mistaken, he also started it here as well, actually as a chef at the Oyster Bar here in San Francisco. So in the meantime, while that was going on, he was building friendships and touching lives along the way, before ultimately returning to Johnny Mac's, where his journey had first begun. His dedication, hard work, and love for his craft earned him the respect and the admiration of co-workers, his customers, and his friends. More than anything, Marcus was a devoted family man and a loyal friend, okay, and very good to his siblings, his cousins, and his family in general. He had a remarkable ability to make people laugh, feel welcome, and forget their troubles, even if only it was for a moment. Okay? So whether through a joke, a conversation, or a simple act of kindness, he had a gift for connecting with people. One thing about Chef is the thing he knew was his compassion that knew no bounds. And he was always willing to lend a hand to anybody and he didn't give a shit. That's just who he was, no matter what. And I'm sure many people here have felt that. Okay? So besides him being known as a chef, he was also affectionately known as Coach, while coaching a Pop Warner football team locally here in town called the Wolverines. Can I get a loud Wolverines?
Wolverines!
Thank you. Thank you. He was passionate about being a coach and lived to inspire the children who played under his tutelage. Then another moniker he went by, as many people was, Uncle Batman. He was a fanatic of DC Comics' Dark Knight detective, having an affinity for Michael Keaton's version of Batman from the Tim Burton classic. Marcus was a fan of the Dark Knight and American football, in which he embraced those roles with pride. He brought joy, excitement, and encouragement to the children in his life, creating memories that will be treasured forever. His playful spirit, protective nature, and unconditional love made him a hero in the eyes of many. And to countless children, and plenty of adults as well, he was truly chef, coach, and Batman. Then came that day. Marcus got sick. And on June 3rd, 2026, at 1:11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time in West Henderson, Marcus passed peacefully and joined his ancestors. He was surrounded by his brothers, sisters, and stepmother, who remained by his side until the very end when he took his last breath. And while his family's hearts are broken by this tremendous loss, they find comfort in knowing that he is finally at peace, free from pain, no longer struggling, no more overthinking, and resting in the embrace of those who went before him. Chef Marcus will be remembered for his kind heart, his beautiful blue eyes, infectious laughter, and vibrant personality. He had a way of lighting up every room he entered and make everyone feel like family, no matter who you were, no matter what background. Right? The love he shared, the lives he touched, the memories he created will continue to live on in the hearts of all who knew and loved him. Because I did. I loved him very much. I loved him very much. But one thing's for sure, we're gonna hear him, laughter, see him in acts of kindness, and feel him in the bonds of family and friendship that he cherished so deeply. One thing's for sure is that he will be deeply missed, forever loved, and never forgotten. And for those who knew him best, we will forever carry a piece of our very own Batman in our hearts. Thank you. And now, I would like to call up my wife and his sister, Tiffany. Please come to the podium.
There's a lot of people in here. Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Tiffany, and I'm the oldest sister. I'm sure you're all wondering how many siblings there are. Just know we roll deep. During Marcus's final days in the hospital, our family practically took over the entire second floor. The security officer stopped and asked if we were all together. When we told him yes, he said he had never seen a family that large gathered in the lobby. I remember when Marcus was born. Well, actually, I remember when Eric was born first. Then, I kid you not, only a year and 4 months later, here came Marcus. These two beautiful little babies with bright blue eyes. I was absolutely convinced that Marcus had to be adopted because, in my mind, he literally came out of nowhere. And for all 43 years of his life, I took my responsibilities as an older sister very seriously and reminded him every chance I had that he was adopted. Every single time my mom would get so mad at me, but seriously, with those big blue eyes, I had to knock him down a few pegs. When we were little, I thought Eric and Marcus were my babies. I would argue with my mom because I was convinced that I was the one in charge of them. Speaking of our childhood, our parents were a little wild back then. I remember being sent to the store with a note to buy cigarettes. That's a crazy to think about considering at my big age I'm still getting carded for buying cough syrup. But actually, I always managed to come home with cream pies and snacks for my brothers. Usually I would walk to the store, but one day I decided to drive. Let's see, I was 6 years old, Eric was 3, Marcus was 2. I put both of my babies in the car, backed out of the driveway. I didn't get very far because Marcus ruined our joyride by falling out of the car. He may or may not have fractured his leg. I honestly can't remember, but I do remember him not being able to walk for a while. And I did exactly what any loving sibling would do. I blamed Eric. I told everyone that he was driving at 3 years old. A few years ago, I finally confessed to my mom and Eric that it was actually me behind the wheel. Eric Shea argued with me, no tip, it was me. To this day, they still don't believe it was me, as if I'd get in the car with my brother behind the wheel. But we'll just leave it at that. Marcus was a talker. If my phone rang at some random hour of the night, I already knew it was going to be Marcus. And I knew I was about to spend at least an hour on the phone with him. As any of his siblings. He did it to all of us. And these weren't normal conversations. They were deeply important discussions like, who are your top 3 DC villains and why? Or, if you were to choose, would you rather be a vampire or a witch? Marcus, I'm sleeping. Can I call you tomorrow? Wait, just answer the question. Then he'd hang up and call one of our other siblings, as if he was taking a poll. But that's who he was. He loved connecting with people. He loved conversation. He genuinely wanted to hear what people thought. And he could talk about absolutely anything and everything. Marcus was one of the kindest and most honest people I've ever known. He didn't talk bad about anyone. He didn't complain. And he never wanted to be a burden to anyone. Even when I look around the room today, I see proof of just how many people's lives he's touched. The outpouring of love during his fundraiser, the messages, the stories, the support, and all of you being here today to celebrate his life speaks volumes about the kind of man he was. Marcus was truly a ride or die kind of person. He loved every member. Wait a minute, am I repeating myself? Marcus left a mark on the world. He made people laugh. He made people feel seen. He made people feel loved. He made people feel like family. The funny thing is, if Marcus were standing here today, he probably wouldn't want us quietly crying over him. He'd want us laughing. He'd want us telling stories. He wants someone to answer an impossible question like, who's the greatest Batman villain of all time? And then spend the next hour arguing about it. Because that's what he loved most, connecting with people. So even though there's a hole in our hearts that can never be filled, every time we tell one of his stories, every time we laugh at one of his ridiculous questions, every time we look out for each other the way he always did, a little piece of Marcus lives on. We'll carry his kindness, we'll carry his humor, we'll carry his love for family, and we'll make sure his name is never forgotten. We love you, Marcus. Thank you for being our brother, our friend, our favorite late night phone call, and one of the most unforgettable people we will ever know, until we meet again. Now I think the best way we can honor Marcus is exactly the way he would have wanted it, by sharing stories. So I'd like to open this floor to anyone who would like to share a favorite memory of him.
I met her when I was 16 years old. I never had a big family. Came from Europe, Air Force military grad. Left a lot of my big side of my family in Europe. When I met Haley at work, I didn't know a lot of people outside my friends and people I thought were my friends. I didn't really know what empathy was. I haven't really experienced it. Being a young kid coming in, trying to date the little sister with all these big brothers. You guys can only imagine the time that I had. Respectfully to every one of them, I would have done the same shit. I got daughters, my sons are gonna do the same shit. But I remember one thing about Marcus. He was the one that didn't give you a hard time from the beginning. He embraced me. And I'm not mad at any of you big brothers for giving me a hard time, like I said, but this man embraced me. Never a bad word, never a whip your ass if you just love, man. Just nothing but love. And although I probably didn't get as close to Marcus as I wanted to, because I was just on the outside of this, you know what I mean? Just reveling and watching this massive family love each other the way that they do. And the privilege and respect that I had for that observation, you know, just looking at, wow, this is actually possible, because I never experienced that in my life. Derek, Sean, Eric, all the family, man. I'm just happy to have been a part of it up to this point, you know. And the story I have is two little stories that stick with me forever. Marcus really put an impression on me. I showed up to Christmas at Tiff's house. And like I said, we were never like that tight. He was just cool. He was always a cool dude to me. And I showed up at Tiff's house that Christmas, and I'd always been a knife fanatic. You know, I've got people that are gun fanatics, and no, I'm a knife fanatic. I always love my knives and my daggers. And Marcus, he came up to me after everything was said and done. He came up to me and handed me a gift. I unwrapped this gift, and it was the most badass knife. Really high class, expensive knife. In this red velvet box. And it may not sound like a lot, but to me, it changed everything, you know. I just it clarified who Marcus was, and the attention to detail that he paid with anonymous people. And a lot of the stories that we're hearing people are talking about, this is a guy most humans aren't as observant as Marcus was when it came to really paying attention to the little things that move people. And so that really touched me and moved me. And the last story that I have with Marcus is when him, Samantha, and Colin and Brooke and everybody got together down at Bullhead in Laughlin. What a great day that was, man. Blazing fatty ass doobies. Smoking so much weed, chilling with the family at the river. Just life couldn't be any better. So I just want everybody to remember, whether that's your thing or not, I just want everybody to remember, if you're gonna remember anything about what Marcus stood for, and what I at least believe from the outside, from a very small perspective. The man stood for love to everybody. And I think take a lesson from Marcus today is to spread more love. Y'all remember that shit. We're only here today.
What's up, guys? Definitely something I wasn't ready to do. I don't always feel so comfortable expressing the way I feel to other people. Usually to other people that are really close to me. I don't know. I really can't think of much to say. I do want to say about my brother, he was one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. He had a love for my daughters. It was just great. Every time we would see him, we'd be so happy to see my kids. I just want to say thank you guys for showing up. Marcus would have loved seeing all you guys. You know, there's not. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.
Marcus and Eric would get on the bus from Henderson, and they would take the bus all the way over to our house. We lived on the west side, off the west cliff. Lo and behold, almost every time they'd get over there, hours later we'd get a phone call. We're over here at the 7-Eleven, we can't find the house. I'd go over and pick them up, of course, and they stayed the night with us, gosh, a lot. We really enjoyed it. Through the years, my husband Dave and I moved up to the backside of Trout Canyon. All their families, Tiffany and Eric, Eric's kids, Marcus, Samantha, his 2 children, they would come up to our Easters, Trout Canyon. Then my husband passed away. And not too long after, a year and a half, so 2 years later, we married. I didn't have phone service up there on that mountain. There been 8, 9 years, and all of a sudden I had phone service, but nobody called me because they didn't know. I got a phone call one night. I answered it. No, I didn't know the number. It was Marcus. I got chewed out from one end to the other because I didn't call him and get permission to get married. I'll never remember that, but I had to listen to it for at least an hour. And I'm just so grateful that he was my bonus son and to be his bonus mom. Thank you.
For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Soraya. I'm Chris's daughter. I'm really good at public speaking. This one feels different. Every family event we had, he would be there. And after the event, everyone would leave and he would be the last one left. And me and Carmelo, every time, Carmelo is the only person who stays till like 5 a.m. at night, just talking. His parents are just talking downstairs. And we'll come downstairs to see when he's leaving, and we'll go to the couch, and Marcus will just be sleeping there with his mouth wide open, holding a soda in his hand. It was every event, every function we had. That's just one of the biggest memories I have, and I'm so incredibly thankful for everything he did, especially for my dad. Thank you.
You go in, it was in Henderson, he was hungry, okay? He went into, they had a casino or something upstairs, but he wanted food. Food was nowhere to be found. He waited around politely, okay? Julie, now you know Marcus would do this in a heartbeat. He waited around politely, waited for a little bit more, looking for the chef, walked outside, smoked a cigarette, walked back in. Now he's pissed. My son is a chef. Everybody knows. He pulls his wallet out, shows the camera his health card. Shows the camera his health card, says, I'm gonna go make me some food. Make him some food. Dude comes in, the cook. He was not having it. This chick comes down from upstairs, the bartender, calms them all down. Mark's got his food now. I think even the guy, the cook and Marcus ended up being friends. Anyway, that was worth his tell.
So shout out my boy right here.
I'm not gonna call you out. Just look in the room, just giving you guys another minute in case you wanna come back up here.
I really got to know Uncle Marcus because I was like really young, but I do have like one memory, and it was one time I was like in like pre-K, and he would always try to convince me and my cousins that, well, he was Batman. And I just believed him fully. I went home to pre-K and I told all my friends, that my uncle was Batman. I said, my uncle is Batman. That's really what I remember.
For anyone who doesn't know me, Mr. I am Chris's daughter. I always, sorry, I'm really good at public speaking. This one feels different. Every family event we had, he would be there. And after the event, everyone would leave and he would be the last one left. And me and Carmelo, every time, Carmelo is the only person who stays till like 5 a.m. at night, just talking. His parents are just talking downstairs. And we'll come downstairs to see when he's leaving, and we'll go to the couch, and Marcus will just be sleeping there with his mouth wide open, holding a soda in his hand. It was every event, every function we had. That's just one of the biggest memories I have, and I'm so incredibly thankful for everything he did, especially for my dad. Thank you.